I'll tell you how you do, cousins. Today, I'm going to take you out sourcing with me a little bit. We'll see what we can find. Then, I'm going to take you back to the warehouse and I'm going to show you a lot of the things that we sold in the month of April. Maybe that'll give you some ideas as to the types of things you could look for to buy and resell. I'll give you an update on all the matchbooks that we're selling from the big lot that we got. And then I'm going to show you some of the stuff I packaged up to ship out today. This is going to be a typical day in the life of a reseller like me, Rusty, down here at the Rusty Bargain Warehouse.
That's Rusty How To.
Alright guys, I'm going to 3 places today. I'm going to go to a Goodwill right now. I'm going to go into a Habitat for Humanity restore. And then I'm going to hit the antique store where I got that massive matchbook lot. I've been there several times, never had as good of a day as that before or since. But we'll see what they got today. Stick with us and let's see what we might find today. Hi folks, I wanted to kind of talk with you here a minute. You know, I would love to just kind of let you listen in on the stuff that's happening. But, you know, oftentimes while I'm in these stores, there's music playing. And, you know, if Madonna comes on talking about, you know, being touched for the very first time, I mean, it might be fun to listen to, but the problem is YouTube doesn't let us play that. They call that a copyright infringement. And so we're not allowed. I'm not paying Madonna every time you listen to her music or anybody else for that matter. And so I got to get on here and kind of talk to you. But anyhow, I wanted to just kind of talk to you a minute about Goodwills and thrift stores like Salvation Army or Habitat restores, kind of how I approach these. You know, again, I sell mostly antiques. So I'm looking a lot of times for stuff that is old or vintage items. I stay away from ceramics and glass pieces oftentimes because those are breakable. You know, you run a risk of something getting damaged in transit. So I'm really just looking for things like old hats that can cost me 50 cents or 75 cents a piece that I can sell for $10 or more. A lot of times I'm looking for stuff that I can do at 10 times my expense. So if I'm spending $1, I want to make $10 back. If I'm spending $5, I'd love to be making 30 or 40 bucks off of that. Just the other day, I came across a couple of Craftsman hand tools, paid $2.50 a piece for each of them. I'm going to sell them in a lot, so I'm $5 in, but I'm going to sell that lot for $50. That's a good example of the stuff I'm looking for at places like Salvation Army. People are always donating stuff like old tools, old dolls, if you can find little action figures, stuff like that. I just pass over the clothing, to be honest with you. I've done some clothing sales in the past, and it's just not my thing. A lot of times I'm looking for old shoes. If I can find Nike shoes in decent condition, I will absolutely spend between $2 and $5 for a pair of shoes that I could turn around and sell for $30 or $40, that kind of thing. But I pass over a lot of stuff. I'm really looking at specific areas in these stores. Habitat for Humanity restores can be good places. A lot of times it's mostly home goods. We're talking about old furniture. We're talking about different types of components that go on appliances. I have one in my area that, you know, it does sell a decent amount of stuff. It sells costume jewelry sometimes. They have a big vintage vinyl collection, believe it or not. They got a lot of, they even have a section where there's kind of a book where you put in kind of bid on stuff. And these are like small estates where everything came from one person. But in these stores, you know, I don't like to get large items. So I'm passing the furniture. I'm passing up on, you know, larger items like bed frames and different stuff like that. It's great, but it's just not the kind of stuff I'm looking for. So I'm going straight for the little areas that have boxes that have tools and stuff. Maybe I can find some old Craftsman tools or Stanley tools like screwdrivers or or clippers or different things, again, that are small, that can fit in my 6x9 inch bubble mailer. Things like that are really good. And also at these habitat stores, at antique stores, I'm always going up and asking, especially at antique stores, I'm asking if for a discount. Would this person be willing? I usually tell them, listen, I like this item. I'm very interested in this item, but I'm wondering if they could work with me on the price. And here's a tip. A lot of these antique stores, specifically, the dealers will have a standing order of a percentage that they'll give off if people ask. So if you go up and say, hey, this is $40, can they do anything? They'll look in the little book and see a note and they'll say, you know what, we can do 15% off on this, or we can do 20% off on this. And so they're not going to offer it to anybody, but if you ask, then you can get a discount right off the bat. And then in other cases, they don't have that note, but they will call up the person. And it's 50-50 whether or not they're going to answer. But always ask, because more often than not, you can get a discount. All right, guys, bad news. First two places, nothing. The Goodwill had a few things, but nothing I really felt like I could make much money off of. And then this Habitat was just a bust entirely. I found a couple things there before. Usually it's in that very front room in that case you saw, and it was very sparse today. So this happens. I mean, this happens all the time, actually. I try not to cloud up the channel with all my misses all the time. I don't want to give the impression that I'm finding just like hordes of awesome stuff all the time. I do find decent stuff, but I also am outsourcing a lot. So the more you get out there and do, the more you're going to make of your time and of your business. But anyhow, we're going to go to this third place. I think at the very least I'll find some postcards, because they got a few different postcard dealers in there, and we'll just see what we get. Hey cousins, you know what? I wanted to talk to you a little bit about these antique stores and kind of what I do, how I approach these. I sell mostly antiques and collectibles. As you know, if you watch the channel, you'll see that we're oftentimes selling small items like jewelry or sports cards or coins or watches or pocket watches, things like that. And there's a couple of reasons why we do that. First off, they're small and they're easy to ship, and they're inexpensive to ship. Second of all, smaller items take up less space in our storage, right? And the amount of space we have, we got to pay for it. And so the more we can fit in a smaller amount of space, just the better off it is for us financially. Not to mention the fact that, we really like to sell antiques and collectibles because collectors, if they find a thing that they need in their collection, it's an emotional purchase. They're going to be more willing to spend money on that. Because there are fewer of them, they're not being made anymore, and they're rare. And so we kind of thrive off of people collecting things, buying stuff that's rare. One of the things I like to look for at these places is paper goods. Paper goods like matchbooks, stamps, postcards. And as you'll see, getting into this antique store, I come across a bunch of these postcards. And what I'm looking for are certain locations, certain types of postcards. If you've watched any of our postcard videos that we have, if you haven't, I highly recommend you looking at that, because we go over specific types, different reasons why they're valuable, the types that are valuable, the stamps that you can find on them that are valuable, cancellations and such. But I'm always looking for real picture postcards. That's postcards that have real photographs, and that sort of thing oftentimes sells really well, because they were not mass produced often. They were in smaller quantities, and so depending on the age and the particular topic, you might be the only one that has that, or one of the only people that has that left, and you certainly might be the only person who's willing to be selling that specific one at any given point in time. And so there is a big collector base for people who want these real photograph postcards. They're made in a black and white photo process. They're on specific type of paper. And a lot of times if you look at them from the side, they kind of shimmer a certain way, and you can tell that they are real photographs. In this particular antique store, I came across a large lot of these They were bundled up, and they had various types in there. They had different locations. They had them sorted by location. I'm in the Western North Carolina regions where the warehouse is where we operate out of, and so a lot of these had to do with different cities around Western North Carolina, in the Asheville area and and around. A lot of times I'll pass on these ones that are just of certain types of buildings or certain cities. However, if you come across buildings that, like, say, train depots or postal stations that are no longer there, no longer in operation, those are highly collectible. If you find certain viewpoints, vantage points, say a bird's eye, what they would call a bird's eye view, up above or high, looking down on a city or a beach or things like that, those can be sought after because, over time, cities change in the way that they look. Those buildings change. A lot more stuff gets built. And so it's neat for people a lot of times to collect, say, the city that they live in or area where they're from, different vantage points. If I find some really good shots of old vehicles, that's another one that people oftentimes like to look at. They like to see these old Model T Fords and things like that. Other stuff that I'm looking for is costume jewelry or other jewelry that has precious metals or precious gemstones. And, that's not something that you can just, learn about real fast. It takes time. You have to do your research to be able to tell if a gemstone is genuine or not, figure out the right way to look at it based on experience, knowing the carat size, stuff like that, to know if it's worth the price that they're asking. But it's also good to pull them out. If you can ask to get them out of the cases and stuff, it's good to take a look at the specific the backs of those pieces of jewelry to see if they have maker's marks, to say if it's silver or if it's gold, that sort of thing. A lot of times people miss that stuff, or they don't know how they're marked. And so they might even see a marking and not know that that's indicative of a certain type of metal, right? So that's good. Certain ones like silver and gold, a lot of times people know those, but other ones like palladium or platinum or some of these other precious metals, they might think that they're just costume jewelry, but they're not. And so it's good to take a look at that stuff. I'm always looking around for matchbooks. I got in a big lot recently and have found that those have sold very well. And then again, kind of another thing I look for is older, preferably sealed, but they don't have to be sealed, action figures. We're talking about G.I. Joes, Transformers, Ninja Turtles, Star Wars characters, stuff like that. Are also really, really good items to find, especially if you can find them sealed. There's a big collector base for that kind of stuff. And then also sports cards. There's a big, those are really hot right now. Pokemon cards, Magic the Gathering cards, and sports cards like baseball and basketball. Always keep a lookout for that stuff because those people, there's lots of people out there that like to collect that stuff. You'll never believe it. I came to the same place that I bought the huge matchbook lot, and guess what? There was more in there again. Same person, same situation. I said, hey, will you sell them all to me? They called her up, and this time it was about, it's probably 5,000 in here. $135 is what I paid. And you might think that that's crazy, but I'm telling you right now that as well as these things have sold for me so far, I jumped at the opportunity to buy another set of these. And yeah, I got a bunch, but they're selling so doggone well for me. And there's still a bunch of real old ones in here, guys. The Winkin' Pup, I already have one of those. One of those is already sold for me. So, I mean, I imagine, again, just like last time, there'll be some feature matchbooks in here. I'll pull those out and try to sell them the fastest. You know, you just never know. People are bowling for their health, it says. Man, oh man, I tell you what. It's a pink giraffe right there. Sheraton Hotels. Guys, I'm excited. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. Never ignore the signal, okay? At the A&E Cafe. Steak and chicken. Man, they were obsessed with steak and chicken dinners there for a while. Every place. Like, okay, here's the thing. Not every place can be known. Oh, look at that. John Deere. Look at that. That's going to sell for $10 to $15. That one right there. Absolutely. I'm going to keep that on the top so that I grab it. You know, not every place can be known, can be worldwide known for their steaks and chicken. Give me a break. But everyone was trying to get them to come in. It's the Marine City. Look at that. A boat show atmosphere. This is like a tiki luau related thing. That's going to sell. That's going to sell real quick just with this John Deere one. Guys, I can see ones on the top, just laying on the top here, that will sell and make my money back. On the top of this one box. Incredible. Piper Club. Flying lessons. Holy cow. I cannot wait now. I'm excited to get back to the warehouse. Start sorting through this. Peaches, I hope you're going to be back there, man. I'm going to need some help. Country Club. Man, this guy's just golfing. The Dallas Athletic Club. Shoot, guys. I am excited. All right, this is what I ended up with, guys. Box 1, box 2, and then gigantic box 3. I also came out with these 2 Ellen Clapsaddle Halloween postcards, $3 a piece. These are reproductions, so don't get all excited on me. Reproduction, $3. You can see it says right over here, reproduction of the series. One telltale sign is that these are not embossed. If they were originals, they would have been embossed. But it does have the signature on there still. You can kind of, there it is. So it was a little bit deceiving at first, but it's still worth $3 to me to have those 2, or $6 for the 2 of those. I'm sure I can make money on those, even as reproductions. Then, on my way out, I figured I'd stop by a Big Lots because sometimes they have baseball cards, like sports cards. They're hard to find these days. Didn't find any of those, but I did come across, as you can see, I got 21 of these. Pokemon cards, 15 promo cards from 2012. So these are 9-year-old cards that never been opened, and promotional cards. And I found 14 at the first Big Lots, and then there was another one on my way home, close to where I pull into the warehouse there, and I found another 7. So I got 21 of these suckers. They're selling for about twice, or a little bit more than twice, the cost of them. So they were $6 a piece. I got 21 here. So I'm going to try to sell these for around $300 and maybe pull in about $100 or so net profit off of this. So I'm super excited. Never, ever thought I would walk in and find several thousand more matchbooks, and yet here we are, folks. So I'm going to do another video soon where I'm actually this time going to show you as I sort through these and pull out the first round of stuff I'm going to try to sell. I believe that there are going to be some features in here. Here's one I know will sell, featuring all-girl show, Chicago's finest. I guarantee that one will sell. Cafe Playhouse, and I got 2 of those that I saw already. So real excited. How you doing there, cousins? This is Rusty, and I'm going to take you through a bunch of stuff that has sold in the month of April for us. This is Not everything, obviously. This is we had hundreds of items sell this month, largely because we sold a bunch of these matchbooks. If you're new to the channel, if you haven't heard, I bought about 40,000 matchbook covers for $600 at a local antique store. The person that sold them to me had got them from an estate sale, and when I got these things home, I thought to myself, have I made an enormous mistake? Because there were so many of them, and just the sheer quantity, just, kind of gave me the willies a little bit. Am I going to be able to sell these? Well, the answer is an overwhelming yes. So let me just kind of get through some of these. I put some of these in and other things too, and we'll break it up from time to time here. But first off, got this Las Vegas, Nevada Sahara motel, hotel here. $43, 12 bids. A lot of collectors out there for casinos, stuff in Las Vegas, stuff in Reno, Nevada. And so this is probably from the 1940s, 1950s. Really beautiful. It was full. That means there was full and unstruck. There was no matches had been taken out of here, and it had not been struck across that little strike plate there. Very happy with $43. Goodness. All right, this little casino chip from the MGM Grand came in a bag of toys, a lot that I got at a local Goodwill. And there's another video we have on our channel that shows me pulling this thing out. And so I put it up for $8 and accepted $5. That's what it's worth at the casino, and it was just a little bonus there. You never know what you're going to get in some of those toy lots for sure. All right, I put this up because this, to date, I've been selling these matchbooks for 1 month. I've done, again, paid $600 for it, and I've done roughly $3,500 in matchbook sales, if you can believe that. And that's about 400 matchbooks. So, deduct that 400 from 40,000, and that's how many I got left. So this has been a really good buy. Coney Island, probably from the 1930s, maybe early 40s here. And $92, 21 bids. Guys, this is absolutely incredible. Almost 1/6 of my investment back from this one matchbook. You know what's crazy about it? I had 2 of these. After I sold this one, I thought, holy cow, I'm going to throw this other one up. Guess how much the other one sold for? $5. What? I know, guys. I have no idea why. Here's something that was crazy. I bought this box at a estate sale. It was labeled Box of Dental Oddities. I had this for 3 months. I had lots of offers, lots of people telling me that it wasn't worth whatever, and then all of a sudden I got an offer I couldn't refuse. I think I had it up for $220, and somebody paid me $185 for it. Teeth in here, little pieces of stuff from old, like archaic, what they used to do to fix people's dental issues, and there was some, kind of gold-plated stuff in here, and just absolutely bizarre. Was really happy to sell that. Here's one, Bob's Burgers. You can see all the matches are actually clipped off the top of that. Well, hold on a second. Here we go. Clipped off the top. They do that because people sometimes ship these things internationally, and they can't have the flammable portion in there if they're going to ship it in a certain way. Otherwise, it has to go ground shipping, and it's more expensive. So at certain times, they clip those off. That hurts the value, actually. They didn't know that back in the day, but it certainly does. Bob's Burgers, 8 bids, $23.28. Here's another one. Anything that's tiki related or island themed from back around World War II, 40s and 50s. Is definitely highly sought after. There's a big collector market out there. This was a partial. You can see some of those matches are missing. $21.50, 4 bids, guys. I mean, just the ones I've showed you so far represents about $150 to $200 worth of sales. Here's another one, Stardust, Las Vegas. Got a guy holding a hat up to cover up the private areas there. $16.50, 7 bids. Lots of people interested in this one. Had most of them, but a couple of them, as you can see, were missing there. Moving along, another matchbook, Mammy's Chicken Farm, $15.67, 11 bids. Guys, there's tons of collectors out there for these matchbooks. I had no idea. I mean, I knew that people collected, but shoot, I mean, there has been so much fervor and zealous people on here trying to get these matchbooks. It's just making me so happy. I've just been beside myself. Moving on here, we got the lot of Stanley. high glow neon orange. This is another video we had where I was sourcing. I found this, I believe it was $1, maybe $2 for a little baggie of these vintage bright neon colored Stanley screwdrivers. You got flatheads and Phillips screwdrivers here. I put it up for 50 bucks. Had a couple of offers for 30 or 40. I was just patient. I only held on to these for maybe 3 or 4 weeks, but finally had somebody pay my full price of $50 for these. So a flip from $1 to 50 is absolutely fantastic. Another video of mine was out at a Ross and found a bunch of these little mini brand kind of surprise little balls. You open them up and there's a toy or some candy or something in there. And I've sold these in pairs. I think they were about $6 or $7 a piece. Selling them for pairs, 20 bucks. I'm only making $5 or $6, you know, honestly, profit off of these each time. But I've sold almost all of them. I had 20 some of them, and now I think I've only got 1 or 2 left. Had another one sell yesterday, as a matter of fact. So I sold 3 or 4 pairs of these this month alone. 20 bucks, 1 bid. This is a cool one here. These hats cost me anywhere from 50 cents, 75 cents, sometimes $1, but never more than $1. I think this was 75 cents, and the light on the back of this is for someone who's biking or running. The little light turns on. It had the battery still worked, flashing to keep them safe out on the road. $24 and $8 shipping, so it made a really good return off of that. Oh, this one breaks my heart, guys. This was a beautiful, really awesome looking matchbook. You can see it's a Valentine's beer. The little matches themselves look like bottles of beer. Super cool. Order the handy way, and it's got this little pop-up thing of a hand giving the okay there. Super cool, but unfortunately I sent this off, and a couple weeks went by, and the buyer said, hey, this has not arrived yet. So I went in and checked the tracking. It said it's in transit, and I went back and said, hey, can you just be patient? I had a couple others people telling me of stuff I shipped out that day that their stuff hadn't arrived yet, but it says it's on its way. 2 weeks later, the guy's getting angry because it's not there, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. So today, I had to issue this full refund back. So I lost out on this matchbook, and I lost out on the money because the U.S. Postal Service did not deliver it. Now, here's the thing. The U.S. Postal Service has done a good job for me for most stuff. I steal hundreds and thousands of items in a year, and I almost never do I have issues. But honestly, in the last month, I have had multiple items that have not got there. They just sit saying that they're in transit. No one can find them. I don't know what happened. I think they all went out 1 or 2 days. So there was some sort of mix-up, and I'm disappointed because, you know, that cost me money. This was a really good one. It was a great purchase. It was a great sale. Had 7 bids, but I lost out on it. It's a bummer. Another one that's similar, same idea. They're shaped like beer bottles. I thought that was just super cool. Pilsner Urquell. That's the Czechoslovak Pavilion. It's the New York World's Fair in 1939. So not only is this rare in and of itself because of the type that it is, but it also was from a specific event at a specific location in time. So really kind of a rare item there. Pretty awesome. Another cool one here. We got these ladies in their little dresses here. This is from a department store. 4 bids, $17.51. Guys, these matchbooks were just selling like hotcakes. Another one of these beer ones at the bottles. Blair, 1876 established. Or actually, this is whiskey bottles, bourbon whiskey. $27.59, 8 bids. And they just kept a-going. Here was from the tool lot that I thought might be the find of the year. It's looking like this matchbook lot is going to be the find of the year, but I found about 8 or 9 different hand planes in there. This particular one was the largest, number 45 Stanley with a bunch of blades. I paid $300 for this gigantic box full of tools. Draw knives, hatchets, hand drills, planers, all this stuff. And I was patient. Had lots of people telling me these weren't worth 50 bucks a piece. And then finally somebody paid me $400 for this one. Now I've not only made all my money back, but I've made profit off of this one plane. So all the other things I can start selling at reduced price, start moving them, still going to make really good money. Probably around $2,000, maybe more in net profit off of this one pickup I got at the estate sale. There's an estate sale video where you watch me walk in and find this immediately. Also one where I pull out every item in there. So go check that out if you got some spare time. All right, guys, here's another one that I want to talk about. Bought these pair of New Balance shoes. I got a video on these as well. New Balance 998 red suede. I'm going to show you this little screenshot here. of a comment I got when I put this video up. I blocked out the person's name and the thing because I don't want to. I'm not here to shame necessarily people, but I just want to bring to your attention. Sometimes, guys, you're gonna have. Well, two things. One is sometimes people are going to correct you and give you some information you didn't have, and that's kind of what I like. I welcome that. I want to learn from you guys as well. But then there's people who just want to bring negativity and say to you things like, "Oh, this will never sell." This particular guy, as you can see from this screenshot. I'll show that right here. Peaches, if you can throw that up on the side there. Just showing that, hey, like, people don't even pay this kind of money, $200 for Nike shoes. You'll be lucky to get 50 or 60 bucks out of this. Well, sir, you were just wrong. If you're patient and you do your research, and patience is key here. If I'd taken that person's advice, or if I had felt like I had to sell it really fast, yeah, sure, I could have sold it to somebody for 50 or 60 bucks, but I waited, and I'm so glad that I did, because here we go. I had it up for $200. I took a best offer of $180. Guys, you may not realize it, but there are certain models of New Balance shoes and even other brands that are generally not collectible that do have models that are collectible and high priced. So $25 purchase, flip this for $180. Was really happy to get that. Okay, next up here, guys, this is a certain type of matchbook cover. It's the type that has a picture that covers the entire cover, even over where it's folded. You can see that. A lot of them have a picture on this side and then a picture over on that side. This one has it over the whole thing. This is West Indies, again, Reno, Nevada, which is collectible, and this is sort of like an island theme, tiki theme, $21.75. 3 bids for that. I was quite happy. Here's another one, the same example here, and this has a lot of things going for it, guys, and this is why it sold so well. $43.33, 17 bids, had tons of bidders. It's Reno, Nevada, that's collectible. It is a bar, right? It's a music bar, and it has a picture of kind of what these old bars look like with that piano player in the back. The picture is awesome. It's from a collectible place. It's from a collectible time period. And so I was real excited to get such a great sale. This is probably the third or fourth best, well, it's in the top 5 of sales for one particular one that I've had so far. Was excited to get that. Here was probably the second highest, and this is from Lake Tahoe. It's called the Bayou, from Lake Tahoe, California. Young's. Look at that. And it's got this nice lady here sitting in probably from the 1940s, I would say. There by the lake, and she's just bathing, or getting a suntan out there. $67.75, and guess what, guys? I want to show you this right here. I'm excited because I have another one. Here it is, guys. Here's the second one that I got, the Young's Bayou Lodge. We got this here. Got this little lady here, just suntanning there. It's quite nice. This one also does not have any matches in it, but you can see, I think the other one sold for $67, something like that. The last time I had one that sold for a lot, I had a duplicate and sold it and sold for almost nothing. So wish me luck, I guess. Moving on here, guys, we've got the wooden antique nose flute. That's right. You put it up to your nose like that, you blow into it, and it's supposed to make some kind of nice sound. It's from Hawaii, as you can see there, 1975. You would be surprised at how many people I had interested in this. I had all kinds of offers. I think I had it up for maybe $30. I took a $20 for it. I think I paid $2, maybe $3 for it at the most. Maybe just $1 at a local thrift store. I was happy to sell that. This is kind of a great example of when you find something that's odd, kind of bizarre or strange or eccentric, go for it, because a lot of times people like that kind of stuff. Another $63 sale. Doesn't even have matches in it, guys. It's just because it's from Reno. It is a Cole Branch Flamingo, which is an old casino, I guess, and I'm guessing that this is one that probably didn't last a real long time, and that's why it's collectible. But maybe it's just that it's not hard to find in this kind of condition. 16 bids, guys, $63 for one. I honestly had about 8 different matchbooks. My top 8 selling matchbooks, maybe all my money back. 8 out of 40,000. It's absolutely incredible. Nike Zoom, Gary Payton Supersonic Bonsai to me, they're kind of ugly. We had another commenter who said these are just hideous, and I do not disagree. I'm not loving the color here, guys, but somebody really liked this. I bought this lot. I probably bought maybe 10 pairs of these, and then 10 pairs of the black and white combo variant from the same model, Gary Payton's, for $28 each at a Marshall's. I bought them out, and again, it's patience is key here. Patience is king. I just waited. I had them up there for 75, 80 bucks, and then someone came in and offered me 70. I took it. They paid for shipping too, 14 bucks. I just have these shoe boxes. They're called a shoe box that you can get for free from the U.S. Postal Service for a priority shipping. They never cost me more than $14. It's between 12 and 14 usually. So I always just put up $14. I was happy to have that sale. This was one from the same video that I did the screwdrivers that I bought that from. It was this little, cat-looking thing, but it was made. You can see here, it was made from. Well, let me click on it there. From a pair of pliers. They had welded those together and made this little figurine. Really cool. Cost me $1. Sold it for 12 bucks. Not a huge sale, but was glad to have it. Here's a great example of kind of something I'm happy about, which is what I've been doing, because I'm not exactly sure how much these are going to sell for, is I'll put them up for auction, usually $8 with about $5 shipping for 7 days, and I'll sell a bunch of them. Then the ones that don't sell, I then put them up as a buy it now, and I raise the price to 14 bucks, something like that, and I'll accept the best offer. And you would be surprised that these will sit up for 7 days. No one will buy it for $8. Then I put it up for a buy it now at 14 bucks, and then they buy it. Or they'll make me an offer for 12, and I'll take it. They feel like they got a deal, but they paid me $4 more for it than they could have paid literally 1 day before. And so I don't know if it's just that buyer wasn't around when I had it up as an auction, or they missed out on it or something. But I'm still getting these sales. A bunch of these that I don't sell. It's not that they're not interested. There's nobody out there who wants them, because in some cases they're willing to pay more for them once I put them up as a buy it now. Sometimes they're bummed that they missed out. Sometimes they just want it quickly and they don't have to have to wait. You never know. Smoky Snake Dance, August 2nd. It's the home of the Smoky Snake Dance. $8.50. This was another one that didn't sell, but then I put it up as a buy it now. Got this, I think, on the same day that I got those screwdrivers and that little cat figurine. This is Giuseppe Verdi, composer. $12. Paid maybe $5 for that. 3 or 5, I can't quite remember. Then this is a lot I put together of Raya and the Last Dragon. I have not seen the movie yet, but I imagine it's going to be pretty good. It's the new Disney film. I went out and bought all the different varieties of what they had at Walmart, like right as soon as they came out. I put this up in an auction. My cost in here was somewhere between $120 and $140 for all of these. I put it up as a buy it now for $300, and somebody paid for it, and they paid shipping. And I lost about $20 more because I did not calculate shipping well enough, and it cost a little bit more. It cost about $50. But I still netted about $100, put that in my pocket, so I was pretty happy about that. This was one I put up just because, not only because it sold for good money, but it's just cool. Murders in the Rue Morgue. It's like this beast animal, looks like a yeti of some kind, like an ape almost, and then this lifeless woman he's holding in his arms. This is some sort of a matchbook for a movie theater of a particular movie coming out. 1 week starting on February 27th. At the RKO. It's Keith's place. It's the producers of Frankenstein. I just thought that it was a really cool looking one. I wanted to share that with you. Moving on here, guys, we've got the... I wanted to show this just to kind of show... this is why some things are collectible. This is the Swastika Fuel Company. Raton or Raton, I don't know. Raton probably. New Mexico. This is obviously before World War II. Probably 1930s, late 30s. And if they didn't have problems before, they certainly had them by the time the Germans got a hold of this swastika emblem. This is actually like an old Native American emblem. You can say it says the Indian good luck swastika. I'm sure it was not that good luck for them after certain things. But this just kind of goes to show. This is only valuable, guys, because of how things panned out in history with the Nazis and all that. But anyhow, 2 bids, $20.50. Just a piece of cardboard, but certainly kind of interesting to see that. All right, the Callaway 9-iron. I find these things all the time at Goodwill bins or Goodwills, is loose individual covers of drivers or woods or irons. And the best kind are pitching wedges, 9-irons, and sand wedges, and followed by some driver type ones or wood ones, because when they're out on the golf course, they pull one off and then they lay it down by their bag, or it falls out of their bag, or it falls out of their golf cart, and they lose it. And then they've got one club that has lost its cover, and they want it. This was a 9-iron. I bought it that day. I put it up for sale for $14 or maybe $15. I had someone offer me $6, and I countered it 14. I think I had it maybe 18, even $20 possibly. I can't remember where I had it started, but they started really low. I kept countering, finally just declined it, and they said, you know what, I'll pay 14 if you give me that, if you send me the offer again. So I sent them the offer, $14. It cost me $1. Turned 1 into 14 the same day. It was pretty great. Another example of one that didn't sell on auction at first, but then immediately sold from Buy It Now, is the Rivada Motel in Reno, Nevada. Cool little picture. Not the best condition, honestly. Wrinkled, kind of stained. Obviously no matches in it, but someone still wanted it. $14 for that thing. I've got a pawn shop locally that sells a bunch of tools, and every time I go in there, it seems they got new ones, and they sell them for anywhere from $1 to $4 a piece. The smaller ones are cheaper, of course, and then the bigger ones are more. I think I probably paid $2 for this one. It was an old channel lock brand. It was tool number 738. It has the number on there. It's an American-made thing. Paid $2 for it. Sold it for $16. I think probably $6 shipping. So you know, I'm only putting $5 or $6 profit in my pocket there net, but it's still a good sale. Honestly, guys, that's bread and butter. It's not every day that I'm finding something that I can make hundreds or thousands of dollars off of. That's actually less and less often. It's these things that sell. Things that I buy for $1 and sell for 10, or buy for $2 and sell for 15. That's the stuff that makes this business, move forwards. This was a bike seat and kind of a setup here. I bought this at a Goodwill bins, like a return bin store. Everything there was $2, so I paid $2 for this, sold it for 14, and they paid for shipping. I may have ate $1 or $2 of shipping off of that, honestly, out of the price, but I still made $8 or $10 from that. Here were 4 packs of new basketball cards, Panini, or Don Russ, I guess, well, that's the Panini, yeah, basketball cards. And I think I paid $6 a piece for these, so I was $24 roughly in. Sold them for $50, 12 bids. Was happy to have that. Now I'm going to get on to a couple of great ones I was so excited to have. There's a local thrift store that's awesome. It supports like a home for boys, and I don't know if it's because they had trouble with family lives or if they just didn't get adopted or what, but the proceeds of this place goes to support that. I think it's a great cause. I love the people there and the stuff. They got good things. This is one of them. I don't know if they didn't realize that this was made out of sterling silver or not, but this is a vintage piece. It is sterling silver, and it's turquoise. Paid $15 for this thing. I put it up for auction. I had 8 bids. Sold it for $470, and I also had the person ask for me to overnight ship it to them. They paid an extra $40 to do that. So I brought in somewhere around $508 on this within the first week. I paid $15, and it sold for $470. So that is over $400 profit in my pocket, and I absolutely love it. You can see right there where it's marked sterling with a W. So I was quite happy about that. Here was a couple of boxes, these what they call trainer boxes of Pokemon cards, Shine and Fates and Champion's Path, these different editions. I was about $110, $120 in on this. Took it for $185. So I really only netted about $40 off of these. Not too bad, but I knew that these were hot items, so I bought them as soon as I could find them. Finally, this is a sale that happened yesterday. I bought this pocket watch for $75, and I put it up in a lot at first. I put it up in a lot, and the lot didn't sell, but I had multiple people say, hey, would you be willing to sell this just individually? And I thought about it. Eventually I thought, you know what, I will. So I threw it up on auction yesterday for $200. And within an hour, I had someone contact me and say, hey, let me tell you about this watch. And they gave me all these details and said, I collect these things. I know exactly what it is. I know what it's worth. It's worth $345. I will pay you $345 for this if you put it up as a buy it now today. And I said, well, sure. So I ended it, put it up for $345. Within 15 minutes, the guy purchased it, and I'm shipping it out today. So thank you so much, mister, for buying this. I netted over $200 on this, around $200 in my pocket. So it was great. This is a Waltham from roughly, mid 1880s. Really awesome. It says Seaside on the inside. I don't know exactly what the movement is. I don't know what it's called. It may be the Seaside movement. I don't know how many jewels it has, but it had a really nice, kind of an etched scene here on the front and on the back. Really awesome, guys. Well, that's it for some of the sales. This is a good example of the sales that happened at the store this month. We're doing somewhere between $6,500 and $7,000 in sales off of this eBay store this month. So that's about an average month for us. I can't say it was great. It certainly wasn't bad. So I'm happy with what we got. We're very, very fortunate that people want to buy some of the items that we have. So thanks so much, cousins. I'm going to now show you a couple of things I'm about to go ship out. Here's the stuff, guys, that I got to ship out today. All these small ones right here are matchbooks. I got a pair of pliers in here. Up here I got a necklace, and in here I got some Pokemon cards, some Elite Trainer packs that I bought locally. So those are going to go out here in a little bit, and then I'm going to get back to listing for the rest of the afternoon. Guys, thanks so much for joining. You guys have a great one. Thanks so much, cousins. Guys, subscribe to this channel if you haven't done it yet. I promise you will not be disappointed. You can also like our videos or comment, and we'd love to engage with you and kind of find out, what are you finding? What are you reselling? Do you have questions? Is there something you want to know what the value of it is? We'll do our best to help you guys. Have a great week, cousins. Take care.
Rusty how to